What's up? What's up, everybody? Armchair Quarterbacks here for another Week 7 recap. This one we've got This Host Slaps versus Jacks On, Jacks Off. That's Alex with 111.06 points to Shawn with 126.08 points. Taking a look at Alex's team this week, he started Jared Goff, Tyreek Hill, Marquise Brown, Alvin Kamara, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, George Pickens, and Alexander Madison. How did you think Alex's week went this week, Shawn?
Let's see. So obviously the big one is Tyreek Hill here. Still kind of, for him, that's kind of a quiet game. Only 20 points, not too bad. Big one here for me is Alvin Kamara. Let's see. Oh gosh, again, 12 receptions.
Yeah, I'm just seeing that stat line now. That's ridiculous. 12 receptions for 91 yards. Woo, boy.
For 91 yards.
Crazy.
So, yeah. Really big. I don't know. I was telling you in another recap, I don't know how much that's going to help their offense, though. If all they're doing is checking down. At some point, they have to get Olave involved. Juwan Johnson is coming back. They have to get Michael Thomas involved. We've seen Taysom Hill get some usage. But checking down to Kamara, if you're going to keep it in front of the defenses, they'll take this all game, Another big one here, perhaps bigger than that one, just because of, how he's been performing all year, is Jahmyr Gibbs here finally going off, getting that, that workhorse type treatment there.
Yeah, look at this. He had 9 receptions for 58 yards. That's crazy. That's a lot.
So, nine receptions, 58 receiving yards. I'm hoping for that from any of my players. And then you add a touchdown to that. It's amazing. So the fact that he has rushing yardage on top of those receiving yardage, that's pretty huge. Sam Laporta here, pretty safe game here. That was a blowout, so you'll take those points in a blowout. And then George Pickens here, no touchdown, but look at this, 107 receiving yards with that bonus, and you have 5 receptions. I've always thought he's better than Deontay at this point. He's just got those quicks. And
well, we said it before. He's the big splash play player type of player. So
yeah, he's going to be the splash guy, and he was getting closer stuff with, no Deontay Johnson.
Yeah,
but now Deontay Johnson's back, so hopefully that helps even more. And now he's, you're going to make the defenders think twice who you're going to guard.
Yeah, target wise, it didn't affect him too much, because if you look at the past 3 games, he had week 3 6 targets, week 4 7 targets, week 5 10 targets. They had a bye last week, and then this week he has 8 targets. So it's not like Deontay Johnson coming back was a major factor in hitting his affecting his share of the passing game. It's just the efficiency and no touchdown.
I would say more quality. That's probably going to help him get a little bit more quality looks instead of not necessarily just the targets.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing I think Alex should look into, Alexander Madison. He seemed to have left the game early. I think they were looking at possibly a concussion for him. He took a hit. He went down, and he was on the ground for a quick second, and then he got up. But I didn't see anything where he looked woozy or anything. But when they showed the replay, his head did kind of hit the ground, and I think it was one of those things the NFL was just like, all right, we need to take a look at him.
He came back in the game.
Okay, did he come back in? I didn't see him come back in.
He came back in for several plays, and I was actually gonna. I think he got some goal line look too. I was gonna drop Cam Akers as soon as he came back in, but he did when he fell. He stayed there for a little while.
Yeah,
like I recognized when he was. I don't know, if it isn't a concussion, he either got the wind knocked out of him, but he he did stay there for a while just to
Yeah,
reattach
and
himself. So.
you were quick to pick up Akers. I think he was still on the ground, and you picked up Akers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just one of the things why I was saying it's possible it could be a concern. So keep an eye on that. But if he came back in the game, I think he should be okay.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned. I mean, Akers got some of the work towards the end when they're kind of trying to convert on third and short, but
Yeah.
I think that was more for health.
Yeah, health and longevity. All right, so let's take a look at the bench. Alex did leave Zay Flowers and Kyle Pitts on the bench. I mean, Kyle Pitts, I don't blame you for benching him for Sam Laporta. Zay Flowers, pretty decent game. 4 receptions for 75 yards. The only thing he's missing there is a touchdown, and you're liking the game there. All right, so let's take a look here at Shawn's team. Shawn started this week Lamar Jackson, Wan'Dale Robinson, Devontae Adams, Jonathan Taylor, Kareem Hunt, Mark Andrews, Mike Evans, and Aaron Jones. What did you like from Shawn's team this week?
Obviously Lamar Jackson here goes off. He has a rushing touchdown to add to the 3 passing touchdowns here and the yardage. So this game was a complete blowout, and he was just hanging it on them.
Yeah.
So that one was a good one. Jonathan Taylor, he's having his usage ramped up. 75 rushing yards here. He gets a touchdown, and then look at that with a 45 receiving yards. So he gets it done through the air and on the ground. Solid for him coming back.
And really quick to touch up on Jonathan Taylor, we mentioned it. We talked about it in a different recap wherever Zach Moss was. This game, they were almost exactly 50-50 split. The last game, it was Zach Moss with I want to say it was like a 70-30 split, something like that. So they're really ramping Jonathan Taylor up. And the other thing too is Jonathan Taylor, in the past we've seen him beast in the rushing game. He's never really been utilized in the receiving game. But if they're going to utilize him like this in the receiving game too, that's beast mode right there.
So good for him on that.
Yeah.
Big one here is Shawn's able to use Kareem Hunt. Especially my boy has Jerome Ford has a high ankle sprain. So at least for the next, I would say 2 weeks minimum, you're looking at an RB2 here, possible RB1, depending on, just because of all these injuries right now and the wasteland of RBs.
Yeah, I agree.
Here you go again, the positive correlation here with Mark Andrews pairing him with Lamar Jackson, so you get the benefit of that again in this blowout. So 2 receiving touchdowns, not really that great of a stat line,
It's about average for what he's had. It's just you add on the touchdowns.
Yeah, you're saved by the touchdowns. Another big one, for me at least, more encouraging than just Lamar Jackson, is Mike Evans here. Another great game, especially because of his history with hamstring injuries and only being a few weeks removed from the hamstring injury and the bye week. This was looking really good for him that Baker Mayfield is targeting. It seems like Baker Mayfield really favors Mike Evans here. They have some chemistry.
Yeah, and not a bad player to have chemistry with either. I think Shawn's pickup and Wan'Dale Robinson, that was a pretty decent pickup at the time when he picked him up. It's just he unfortunately had a bad game. It was a lower scoring game than what was expected. It wasn't expected to be a high scoring game in general, but it was something where we see Daniel Jones just being Daniel Jones. He has a hard time throwing the ball sometimes. So it's going to be inconsistent, I think, but I think it's a pretty decent pickup depending on the matchup.
I was going to say it was actually Tyrod Taylor that was in.
That's right. You're right. Yeah.
But yeah, at this point, you would rather have Tyrod Taylor than Daniel Jones, because Daniel Jones, He looks like he's running for his life out there. He's once his O line, can't protect him, he's just running. So at least Tyrod Taylor there is going through his progressions a little bit better. We saw that with Waller being able to score a touchdown in the end zone. Guys like Jalen Hyatt, I believe it was. Several guys here that just Tyrod Taylor looks a lot better. He looks a little bit more comfortable in the pocket, even with all the pressure.
Well,
he's
and
going through his
the other thing too is now that you reminded me that it was Tyrod Taylor, Daniel Jones is the type of player that he's either going to look for the deep pass or scramble and run. Tyrod Taylor, he'll look for the deep pass if it's there. If not, he'll go to his checkdowns. So, and
I can't. What was the third round pick? Third overall pick that they wasted on Daniel Jones, and then they gave him the contract.
Yeah, I'm still very surprised that they gave him that contract. It was ridiculous. But Wan'Dale Robinson, he's the type of player that, just like we were talking about with George Pickens earlier, he's a big splash player. So hopefully they kind of scheme something where he can maybe play in the slot a little bit more, get some crossing routes. That way he can get a little bit better usage. Let's take a look here at Shawn's bench. Nothing really to speak on. Didn't leave anybody with any points really. You do have Mark Andrews here, so I would look at maybe dropping Tyler Higbee. There's not any point in holding him. Cooper Kupp's back. Puka Nakua's there. Tutu Atwell's there to pick up some garbage points, and then once they get their running backs, they're going to be pretty stacked there. And Matt Stafford hasn't really been one to consistently throw to the tight end position unless that's the only option. So I think that's a drop that you can make right there. But besides that, congrats on the win there, Shawn, with 126.08 points. I believe that is the highest score, highest point total in our league this week. So congrats on that as well. And good luck to you both next week in week 8. And that'll be it for this one. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.